Hello again, happy Monday. Here's a look at dew point values across the state. The higher the number, the more moist the air is. As you can see, a great number of locations across the state seeing some very dry air behind this cold front that moved through yesterday. Moved through our area yesterday. It's starting to move off the coastline now. As you see, those coastal locations still seeing some pretty moist air, but the dry air in place here in West Texas is going to be a big factor of our forecast this week. We'll talk about that a little more in a second, but the temperatures are looking like we didn't even have a cold front move through yesterday. Along the I-10 line, seeing some of those warmer temperatures. Junction, that relatively warmer spot right now, holding on to 82 degrees, 76 right now in San Angelo, 73 up in Abilene. Believe it or not, that's about as cool as it gets. 72 up in Cider, which is not that much of a difference, but overnight we're going to see a pretty typical late February evening. Temperatures generally getting into the 40s, but farther east we could have some locations in the upper 40s, possible 50 like Comanche and Brady, looking to get down to 50. 43 expected as that low in San Angelo, 46 expected as that low in Abilene. And through the first half of the week, we're going to maintain these temperatures getting into the lower 80s ahead of our next cold front moving in on Thursday. Then we'll spend the rest of the week and weekend in the 60s, feeling a little bit more like the beginning of spring. Now, those dew points, like we talked about at the start, still looking to stay dry throughout the week, especially here on Thursday as that next cold front is moving through. We're seeing dew points getting into the teens. That's going to help relative humidity values getting into the teens, which is going to pose some fire weather concerns over the next several days, especially on Thursday. So here are some fire weather tips. Some things you want to avoid is using welding equipment, driving on a flat tire, parking on dry grass, dragging chains behind a vehicle, or even throwing cigarettes out. We're going to be talking more about this over the next several days, but here's a look at the 7-day temperatures peaking in the 80s between now and that cold front moving through on Thursday. Then we'll be hanging out in the 60s throughout the rest of this week and into the weekend. Temperatures getting back into the 70s by the end of the weekend, but as you see, going to be staying dry throughout the week, which is what's going to help fill these fire weather concerns. Make sure you tune back with us. We'll be having more updates as they become available, but until then, back to you, Esmeralda.